Reporter of the New World, or the Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you check out the graduationparty.org if you want to get yourself or a loved one some math tutoring. And if you are nice with math, you can pass some assessments, you can go in there and make some money too. Now, moving on to this news. Over in Iran, in the capital, Tehran, there's actually this crazy fire at this prison, at Evans Prison. That's like the infamous prison over there, housing a lot of political prisoners or whatever. It actually set ablaze Saturday, killing 8 people, injuring dozens. And Iranian state media actually says that it's unclear what caused the fire. However, prisoners and guards were actually clashing before the fire was reported to have taken place. You actually had witnesses saying that they heard explosions and gunfire coming from the prison. And, you know, people who used to be prisoned there actually said that they've been like tortured or mistreated or whatever. So, you know, this is an infamous prison over there. And we are like one day before the 1-month anniversary of the murder of Mahsa Amini, that 22-year-old Kurdish woman who actually was killed while in police custody after getting checked by the so-called morality police over there. The police that hop out in Iran trying to check women on how they wearing their hijabs and all of that. So, you know, it sparked a bunch of protests that's still going on today. Green War and graduation though. Reporter of the New World, or the Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over in Ukraine, you know Russia is still pummeling that area because they actually hit Kyiv, which is the capital of Ukraine, with fresh air raid explosions this morning. This is a week after they had a barrage of attacks where now it seemed like they were targeting energy facilities. And according to Ukrainian officials, were said to have been doing so with explosive devices from Iran or Iran, which are called kamikaze drones. But Iran has denied actually supplying weapons to Russia. Now that's very interesting, especially considering, keep in mind, the United Nations, Iran actually voted for Russia to maintain its annexation of Ukrainian area. Now, also keep in mind that over the weekend there was 2 gunmen that were said to have come to a Russian military training area in Belgorod, Ukraine, and actually let loose, killing 11 training soldiers, volunteer soldiers, and injuring 15 others. Now, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, they are actually said to be from the former Soviet Republic and were shot dead on the spot after they waged their attack. Also, keep in mind that Biden and the Biden administration has actually agreed to send another $725 million to Ukraine in order to help them fight against Russia. And this is all while in places like Jackson, Mississippi, North New Jersey, and still Flint, Michigan don't have motherfucking clean water. You know what I'm saying? Like, our priorities twisted. I guess as Ukraine preps to join the NATO, the Northern Alliance Treaty Organization, it's actually is seen as like helping the United States on some level, but it just seems like we're really neglecting ourselves and neglecting the people within our country in order to execute some paramilitary, you know, overseas foreign agendas. Green War and graduation though. Reporter of the New World, or the Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over in China, you have on Sunday the Communist Party actually kicking off their week-long Congress as Xi Jinping, the current president of China, is set to win a 3rd presidential term. Now keep in mind, this is historic because back in 2018, the country actually got rid of presidential term limits. So Xi Jinping actually could be the leader of the country indefinitely. So you had him giving a speech, somewhat of an acceptance speech, basically addressing things like the protests that were happening in Hong Kong. He was praising Beijing for their crackdown on Hong Kong, saying the place turned from chaos to governance, you know, praising the military and the country's response to COVID-19. He was speaking about Taiwan. Remember, you know, a couple months ago, I was telling y'all about how tense it was getting, especially with U.S. officials going over there, and Nancy Pelosi and all of that going over to Taiwan against the wishes of China. China has a weird relationship with Taiwan, and he was talking about how, you know, he would like there to be a peaceful unification in general. However, they are not removing the use of force off of the table. Now, before the Communist Party Congress began, there was actually a demonstration that took place over a busy overpass in Beijing where they had rolled out these signs basically saying, we want a vote, basically. Like, we want a leader we want to vote, not a leader. We are citizens. We are not slaves. So apparently, social media users were saying that like all pictures of that protest, which was considered to be rare and pretty huge, were actually removed from social media and accounts were disabled. Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So you got the United States and Canada actually sending military equipment, especially like tactical and armored vehicles, over to Haiti so that U.S.-backed President Ariel Henry, you know, the guy that took over after the former president was assassinated by all those Cubans and a couple of Americans, even though the couple of Americans were said to not have been part of the assassination, but they were actually just undercover investigating. Nevertheless, whole messy situation, and now somebody backed by the U.S. is actually the president of the country, and is now getting equipment from that country so that they could fight against these gangs that last week had formed a blockade around a major fuel terminal that they said is contributing to the food insecurity that's going on in Haiti, according to the United Nations. And Haiti's a place where 19,000 people are already experiencing famine. We're talking past hunger and starvation and food insecurity. We're famine. So even with that being said, last week there were a bunch of thousands of people in the streets in Port-au-Prince protesting against the use of foreign military aid and intervention. So all of this is going on while there's a huge cholera outbreak. They're saying it's definitely concentrated in like the prisons and all of that, but you know, cholera, if you look that up, you know, serious situation over there, dire situation, a lot of food, a lot of insecurity, period, over in Haiti. Still, Green Wall and Graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Australia, in that continent, they actually been hitting heavy rainpour that's been contributing to floods that's been forcing thousands of people to actually evacuate their homes from the country's southeast. You know what I mean? Even in the state of, especially hardest hit was the state of Victoria, which is home to Melbourne, where at least 2 people actually died from this flooding. Now, the Prime Minister of the place, Anthony Albanese, actually said he's warning that things could deteriorate because he's like, you know, there's dangerous times upcoming, and these upcoming days and weeks where, you know, they're expecting there's potential for more rain in the western New South Wales and Victoria, as well as in Tasmania. So all those events combined could actually form into something that could actually hit the place hard. It's like you had one single raindrop that has nowhere to go other than stay on the surface. So that's what they're dealing with. Green Wall and Graduation though. Streets reporter of the New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Paris, France, you actually had 140,000 people said that had taken to the streets to actually protest surging costs of living, as well as inaction on the climate crisis. Now, this was a march that was called by the France Unbowed Party, you know what I'm saying, which is basically a leftist movement over there, where, you know, they're calling for exactly what they're calling for, and they feel like the inaction of acting on climate change, the lack of action on climate change has actually built up over the years, and it's costing people. So people's not having that. Now, there's a bunch of marches and protests and strikes that are planned for this week on the private sector, and this is after weeks of there being protests and strikes against the energy sector. So we'll see how all of this ends up turning out. It seems like the yellow jacket, the yellow vest protests, those are still going on, man. Green Wall Graduation. The New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Make sure you check out thegraduationparty.org if you need assistance with mathematics. If you would like mathematics tutoring that's highly affordable, highly accessible, you can visit that page and get high quality help from people like myself, tutors with, you know, degrees and years of experience in tutoring mathematics, as well as other qualified tutors. Or if you would like to be a qualified tutor and get paid for your knowledge of mathematics, you can visit the website as well. You set up an account and get some money. Now, moving on, over in Turkey, we actually had on Friday, there was an explosion at a coal mine in the Black Sea region of Turkey that actually killed 41 people. Huge explosion. People were mourning all over the weekend, and you have the president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, actually coming under hella scrutiny because he blamed the blast on fate. So it was a wild and sensitive comment, but it's not his first one. Nevertheless, this is happening while there's already crazy tensions over there over the passing of a new bill that people are saying it's a new press freedom bill that people are saying is going to like worsen censorship, where you could get up to 3 years in prison for spreading disinformation. Green War on graduation though. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. Yo, Herschel Walker tucked his tail. I mean, dude already said he wasn't gonna win, but nevertheless, he actually declined to do the second protest against Raphael Warnock, when actually it wouldn't have been a face-off like the one that they had on Friday, where they had battled over issues like police brutality and who was the leaders of their respective parties, and things like abortion, you know, with Warnock going against the Roe v. Wade overturning decision and forcing Herschel Walker to defend his position on abortion, while this woman that's actually come out in public, a former lover of his, saying that she had an abortion from one of his babies, and he actually tried to force her to get another one, which she refused to do, end up having a child. Now, Herschel Walker denied that, but I guess with this debate that was supposed to happen yesterday on Sunday, it was between those two and Chase Oliver, senatorial candidate for the Libertarian Party. And it ended up just being Oliver and Warnock duking it out. So, you know, Raphael Warnock, as the current senator of Georgia, is looking like he's in good shape, you know what I mean, and standing his ground and speaking well, so well spoken. Green War on graduation. You the New World Order, Bishop Grady, let y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. Make sure you check out the graduationparty.org to actually get yourself or a loved one some quality, highly accessible, highly affordable mathematics tutoring. Actually getting it from yours truly, who experts and majored in mathematics and physics and engineering and all of these things and whatever, and therefore could teach it and been tutoring for over 15 years now. Or you could get it from another qualified tutor. And if you feel like you have what it takes to qualify to tutor mathematics, you could go on the app as well and get paid. Now moving on into the news. On Friday in Oklahoma City, you had the Apple store over there, workers there actually voting to unionize, voting to join the Communication Workers of America, making them the second retail store of Apple to actually unionize. So, of course, you have Bernie Sanders, you know what I mean? Shout out to Bernie, actually celebrating the move. You know what I mean? He put out a tweet saying, like, you know, last year Apple made $95 billion in profit. Pardon me, I misquoted. $95 billion in profit, and their CEO made $99 million in profit. So it's time for Apple to start treating its workers with some respect. So those are his words, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, almost exact. Green War on graduation.